Yo, what's up, guys? All right, I think we're almost set up here. Cool. What's up, everybody? How's everyone doing? So recently on the Facebook group Boxing News Today, I put up a question that we're going to go over. And as you can see, the title and the thumbnail, it's talking about your favorite boxing upsets. Now, the word upset is key here because there's one thing with a fighter supposed to win or the media darling is supposed to win or the hometown favorite is supposed to win and then they lose. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about from a Vegas perspective when they put odds on a boxing match and the underdog wins. That's what I'm talking about. So what I'm doing is behind the scenes, I'm working on a video about the top 7 upsets of all time, and I'm going to be going over in detail the fight. I'll be showing you videos of the fight, and I'm going to use this live to kind of go over a little bit of that content. But I want to talk about your answers first. So if you follow us on Facebook, I put up the post 2 hours ago, and it's what's your favorite upset, and I put the picture of Buster Douglas versus Tyson. And I'm going to go over some of these answers, and you got to be some people who answer these things. I mean, how much clearer could I be when I say, what's your favorite boxing upset of all time? And sure enough, and the answer is there's MMA fights. Somebody even said Appalachian State versus Michigan, which is a college football game. Okay, here's the first one. And I usually don't comment. I'll post as an administration on the site, but I usually won't comment. I had a comment on the first comment. So I posted and he goes, Crawford destroying an overrated Spence. And I have to tell him, I go, mate, Crawford was the favorite in that fight. So that's the premise here. Your favorite underdog of Vegas odds boxing match. Okay, Pacquiao Barrera won. Aaron McGray goes, Pacquiao came out as the underdog and he Manny coming from nowhere, then shocked the stadium in San Antonio. He goes, it was when he became a superstar in Texas. Cesar Lopez goes, Kambosos versus Teofimo. Teo unified the belts and underestimated Kambosos. It's a good one. Kambosos was a huge underdog there. Somebody goes, when Crawford crushes Canelo. Come on, man. I'm a Crawford fan too, but some of these fans are crazy. They've all of a sudden turned into Nostradamus, predicting fights that haven't happened. Ali over Foreman. I mean, that's a classic one. I'm going to be going, and then Douglas over Tyson. Douglas over Tyson from an odds perspective, when that went down in Tokyo, Mike Tyson was a 42-1 favorite. And to this day, that is the largest favorite to ever lose a boxing match. And those are kind of the answers I'm looking for. And that's what we're going to go over. Before we get to the stats, the facts, Jeff Andre Larejo puts Wilder over Fury. And I have to remind him, he never beat Fury. I thought I got amnesia for a minute. Woo. I don't know sometimes if people are just trolling me or if boxing fans just get so excited on these forums and just type in whatever they feel, not thinking that people are going to check them. So somebody puts in a UFC fight. Here's what I'm going to do. If you guys want to add your feedback, feel free. I am going to go over the top 7. These are Vegas odds, upsets, and these are going to be in order. Number 1 is Douglas over Tyson. He was a 42-1 favorite, Tyson was, and we know that he lost via 10th round TKO, 10th round knockout. That was February 11th, 1990. I'll never forget how I felt when I found I was 8 years old when Mike Tyson lost. He was the boogeyman. This was like finding out that there were different endings to a story. I remember at 8 years old, I used to think that, you're at that age where your life experience is so small and so limited, you thought all stories ended a certain way. And the story of Mike Tyson as a fighter always ended with him winning by devastating fashion. So when Buster did that, it was shocking to the core for pretty much everyone in the boxing space. Number 2, which I didn't know this. These are stats. Evander Holyfield versus Mike Tyson won. I had no idea that going into that fight, Holyfield was a 25-1 underdog. That is crazy. He was coming off, over his last 4 fights, he was 2-2, and he was coming off a tough fight against Riddick Bowe. And to think that Buster was 46-1 dog and Holyfield was 25-1, and they were both against Mike Tyson. There's some FY. That's a nice little party sort of fact for you guys, going out drinking, talking around your mates. Say, Mike Tyson is involved in the top 2 upsets of all time, and in boxing history, 46-1 and 25-1, and in both matches, he's the one who lost. Who would have ever thought that? That's wild. Number 3, Andy Ruiz versus Anthony Joshua. This just happened in 2019. Ruiz was a 24-1 underdog. Did not know that. Going into that fight, he was 24-1 underdog. I do remember all the hype around AJ coming. You know, a lot of that had to do with he was getting all those big promotions. All those big companies were backing him out of the UK. I think it was Rolex was a big one. It might have been Hublot, but I did not expect Ruiz to be a 24-1 dog. So the first 3 are all heavyweights. What's that tell you about boxing? Number 4, heavyweights. Totally forgot about this fight. Corey Sanders defeating Vladimir Klitschko in 2003. He was a 20-1 dog, and via second round TKO. And then Klitschko goes on that impressive winning streak. We got number 5, heavyweights. What is up with all that? These are all heavyweights. But I guess when odds are that, when you have odds that different, that big, it probably has to do with a lot of size, power, and experience. I guess maybe the boundaries for skill set at the lighter weight classes are probably closer and closer and closer because there's less heavyweights who fight. There's probably something to that. Number 5, Hasim Rahman versus Lennox Lewis. Lewis, 2000 favorite. Hasim Rahman was a 20-1 dog. Wins by 5th round knockout. So in the heavyweight division, guys, anything can happen. The last 2, going all the way back to 1935. I remember watching the movie Cinderella Man. This fight is what that movie was about. James Braddock defeats Max Baer, June 13th, 1935. Braddock was a 10-1 dog. Once again, heavyweight. And the 7th one, Muhammad Ali, George Foreman. Ali was a 7-1 dog. That was obviously the famous fight. And yeah, that was 8th round knockout, 1974. So the top 7 biggest Vegas odds upsets of all time in boxing are all in the heavyweight division. Stay tuned to the channel. I'm going to be doing an edited video of this. You're going to see fight highlights with a deeper narration of the story. And be sure to like and share, or like and subscribe. Helps the algorithm. The likes put the video in a different category for people to see it suggested. I appreciate you guys tuning in, hanging in there with me, and any feedback is greatly appreciated, guys. Top 7, remember, heavyweights.